Hello, it's Gretchen Tucker. This is my fifth vocal video. So this one's going to be about the body, posture, breathing, technique. So I'm actually going to move my computer on my bed and hopefully you can see my stance and different things. Except I think I'm going to start with the face. So when I want to get started with singing, one thing you can do is you focus on the upper part of the body, and I have a slight TMJ, so I have a little clicking from my wisdom teeth. So, you know, one thing, and this is one thing you want to do, massage your face, your jaw, like this, just click now, stuff like that. You can do one thing all singers should do, which I've done with this is like a musical theater or straight play stuff, but you kind of load your face, just get those stretchy muscles going. But it's good to massage all around here, that kind of thing, like this. This is something to be careful for recommendation, but sometimes you might want to go like that. Oh, and yawning. Yawning is wonderful. So if you not force, but if you have the action of a yawn, you get a soft palate lifts. Really great to yawn for singing, because that's great for like high notes and things like that. It gets that action going. So that's one thing, that just warming, like doing these things. One thing I love to do in musical theater is when we got our massages, we go around the circle. But you can do this, you can roll yourself this back. Be gentle, especially if neck injury and things like that. But you want to roll around gently, just like similar to gym class. That kind of thing. And then next is the standing part. So I'm going to move my computer, because then what you want to do is you want to do what is called the ragdoll. I hope you guys can see me. You bend over. Oh, my room is clean, I hope. And you do the vertebrae by vertebrae. You flop over and you stretch your back out. Touch your toes if you can. And I know you may not be able to see me, the whole me, so that's why I'm trying to explain the whole thing. And then you come up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae. And then I'll explain the next step, because this is the structure of your body is super critical. And if you do ballet, it's great. One thing you want to do is you don't want to do the turnout, but you want to have that nice ballerina stance. So let's try flopping over. Touch your toes if you're able to, and just get a nice back stretch and come up vertebrae by vertebrae. So there's that. The stretch should feel really good in your legs and your back. And I tend to bounce up and down and touch my feet, and I go really slow because it feels really good on the back. It's great for singing. So there's that. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Do not hurt your spine. And if you're a girl, your hair is in the way and you have to pull it back. And then once you're up, you are nice and have an erect body stance. And what you want to do is you want to pretend a string is coming from the roof to your head. Roll your shoulders back and down. Put your chest out. Be like a nice, also with a ballet, nice boot camp military stance. Nice and natural. And your abs here are nice and open. And you want to tuck under and in. And then feet with shoulder width apart, a little bounce in the knee, because if you lock them, you'll pass out. So that kind of thing. So that's your like posture stance warm up thing. One thing, let's see, for breathing, some people when they breathe in different stances, there's a bel canto, beautiful singing in Italian thing you want to have, and I'll just turn it this way. So for the breath, the objective is the lower the better, and I thought I was singing pretty low because I was singing up here, but it should feel like in a swimming tube. If you're a woman, I guess when you're menstruating is a good technique, but it's like below the belly button. I guess it's, I mean, with a guy singer, it's usually higher up because they're more barrel based anatomy wise. Woman, it's down below, like super low. Sometimes women compare it to like pregnancy kind of thing, but it's that super duper duper low, as low as you can go below the belly button technique. And so then you don't push, but you take a nice breath. And some people, when they begin singing, they take a shallow breath up here. You don't want that. You don't even want the breath audible. It needs to be as quiet as possible. And so nice and slow and controlled here. One bad habit I have, and you can use those athletic rubber bands like my voice teacher does, people tend to squeeze here. You don't want that. You want to have the cavernous quality as open as possible, breath slow as possible, like a good athletic exercise, and you don't want to run out. One thing about singing, it's totally different from speech because you take one breath and you have a legato phrase, and it's not split up staccato for the most part in words, but if you're time to breathe, you have to let go of what you have left and start fresh. And it's like this big wave thing, and I didn't realize that at first, but now I do. So you'll sing a phrase, let it go, and do that kind of thing. So if we wanted to pretend to breathe, yeah, it's down low here, and the best for the breathing is that it's an air exercise where you can go or you could just do natural breathing, but let's try this. You can see here. And a lot of times I'll touch my stomach when I'm rehearsing, and people probably think I'm pregnant, but I'm not. And then also, you need to forget your modern, like what's attractive thing. Like, it's okay to push your stomach out. Well, not push out, but like puff up. You need the air. If you're doing this, sucking in, you're not gonna have good technique. So, let's do S on sh and try it. So nice breath. Shh, 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 shh. You can see my stomach move and all that. Try it again. But you can do the staccato or you can do the stream like I did, but try it one more time. So nice. Tuck under and in, and then have a natural puff. Don't push, but have a natural puff here. Shh, 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 shh. So that is your posture and kind of prepping your body kind of thing, breath, and then and I like the soft palate thing I discussed as well. Let's see, I was going to talk about a few other things. I can talk about the vocal anatomy some. I was going to do another video on that, but I think we can combine that. So one thing to think about is your diaphragm and lungs together, and what is called the Bernoulli effect. And so your lungs are a primitive membrane here. It's like very squishy, like a jellyfish, and surprisingly we do fine with that. But you have your diaphragm, which is your singing force, and it pulls down. And actually, that's what killed Jesus. The diaphragm in the lungs, whatever happened in that situation. So there's that. It's those two components are very important. And the Bernoulli effect is it's taking your diaphragm and making a tube, and the air speeds up and it's a driving force for your vocal folds here. They could slap together or be gentle, and there's a little opening. It's a little stream of air that comes up, and it's so powerful. It's the most important concept of music or singing. You don't want to use your throat. The thing about singing is it's all breath, which is insane to think about. It's all breath, and that's what you need, and you do not want to use the throat. I'm just looking at my charts here. So I'm doing the air breath part first. So if you study, if you look up and study the abdominal muscles, you can look at that. You can look at the lungs and get the sense of the parts. And then you can look at charts, and I have them here about breathing in and breathing out. It says diaphragm contracts with the ribs, the chest expands, and the chest expanding is like that squeezing thing here you don't want to do, but it's like it's going to happen. And also under here, under your sternum, it has a little puff too. That's a kind of a cool thing to have as well. So there's that. And your diaphragm does kind of pull down and things like that. So they kind of work together like a cool machine. So yeah, you want to try to like breathe down and low, that kind of thing. So, and then if we look at the throat, we need the throat, but we don't want to utilize it too much. So you have your vocal folds, which are your traditional, and your fake vocal folds, which a lot of your countertenors and falsettists use. Women in the flageolet and the whistle will use it too, and the air kind of just wavers on the excerpts of it. So if you get look at anatomy of the throat, the epiglottis, for example, the epiglottis is the thing that moves down, and it separates breaths from like drinking water and food. And I always say to people, if you get like thing in your throat, if you went down the wrong pipe, they say, your epiglottis didn't move down in time. So your epiglottis moves down to separate those two, and your body just knows what to do. So there's different things for that. There, and there's these tubes, they call them vocal cords, but they're really folds. So there's all these little microscopic parts of the body and the anatomy that are critical. We have to really take care of that. Our throat's the size of a walnut, and it has like thousands of parts. So if you look up anatomy of the throat, you're gonna see all these cool things. It kind of looks like a creepy sea creature here. So there's that. So I would look up those and study that and be acquainted. And I have some books that really go into the specific details, which I'll discuss on another video. So that's like your posture and your vocal anatomy video. And I'm going to probably do one more video on the wrapping things up.